Hey friends, Harvey Keene Properties, West Valley Real Estate. Hey, so topic for today, I'm going to talk about success. And what I mean by that is listing success rate here in the greater Phoenix metro area. So a lot of these videos are going to be, I'm going to be talking kind of broadly about like our whole macro market, the Phoenix metro market. And at times I may dial it in and kind of speak to more specific markets, micro markets, like such as, specific cities like Goodyear, Buckeye, Litchfield Park, Surprise, Avondale, whatever. But today I'm just going to speak broadly. So at the end of the year, every year, there's always a lot of expired listings. Listings that come off the market, listings that were listed and did not have an accepted offer. They were on the market, shopping for offers, waiting for buyers to come give them a good price. And December 31st rolls around and those listings expire and a bunch of properties come off the market. There's also a lot of canceled listings. But lately I've been speaking with some of these people and I'm kind of bumping into a common theme. And that theme is a lot of these homes are nice homes, but I talked to some of these homeowners and they said, yeah, it was so quiet. We didn't get any offers, we weren't getting any showings, I didn't really get any feedback, and a lot of them are downtrodden and they're disappointed, they're frustrated. Like, what the heck? I had plans, I had goals, I wanted to sell this house and go buy another, or maybe they had a problem that they needed to solve and that was selling the house kind of factored into that. And so now their house is off the market after being on the market for 6 months or more or whatever, and they kind of feel lost, and a lot of them are discouraged. And so the common theme that I've been seeing is a lot of these listings that came off the market and didn't sell, they were overpriced. And when I say overpriced, I'm not, I'm not talking like by $100,000 or anything like that. They were just outside of the range in which similar homes, like these homes, similar in within a mile, if a house is single level with a pool, 3-car garage, similar year built homes like this, these homes were priced outside of that range. So we have a lot of inventory on the market. Last I checked, actually, the figure was 20,933. That's the amount of active listings that we have on the market currently that are seeking offers. So buyers have a lot of options, and most of those buyers are seeking the best opportunities, right? So when a seller says, or a seller is thinking, hey, I want to sell, or I need to sell, but I really want this price, and that price is, let's just call it $25,000 over the last or the highest sold comparable property. That's a bad strategy in this market. It might have worked in like 2020, 2021, where there was like no inventory and the demand was through the roof and we had 3% mortgage rates. Probably could have worked then, not now. And so for all you sellers out there who are thinking of selling or recently came off the market and you're thinking about getting back in the game, and maybe you're looking at talking to another agent and getting a fresh look at what that what that marketing strategy might be like, the pricing strategy, or even just, hey, what is your outlook on where 2025 is headed? Something that you might ask your agent. One thing that I am strongly encouraging sellers to consider is take a look at the most recently sold comparable properties, right? And take a look at what's under contract and pending, because those are the successful sellers that are like, they got an offer accepted, a good offer, right? Because they accepted it, so it had to be good. in this market right now today. So look at what your competition is on the active listings. If you got like in your square mile for similar homes, if you got like 10 active listings right now that you're competing against, you want to make sure that your property kind of stands out against the competition. Marketing wise, photos wise, like make sure you get your house cleaned up, ready to go. Make sure it presents well, because you hear it all the time. I tell my kids this: you only get one chance at a first impression, and if you don't make the best first impression the first time somebody sees your property, where it's marketed online or in person, they forget about it. They move on. They go find something else that gives them that warm and fuzzy feeling when they see it the first time. So make sure you have a great product, and then also make sure that you're priced in a range that sort of falls within what recently sold comparable properties closed for. Make sure that you're priced, well against your pending and under contracts, because those are the folks that were successful in, like, right now today's market. But also to be mindful of who you're competing against and what's out there, because you want to look good against those listings as well. And so sometimes it's a moving target. If we're in a depreciating market, a lot of times, your pendings are going to be way lower than your solds, your recently solds, and then additionally, your actives might be falling quickly, and we're going to talk about that as well, price reductions. And if we're in a rapidly appreciating market, you're going to see some differences in closed, pending, and under contract and active prices as well. So you just you got to look at the trend, where we've been, where we're at, where do we think we're going based on supply and demand. Okay. So I kicked off this video talking about listing success rate. What does that mean? That means of all the listings that have been listed, what is the percentage of those listings that came off the market unsuccessful? They left the market unsold. Right now, today, our listing success rate is 65%. So essentially, 6.5 out of 10 listings that list are actually successful in closing. So 35% of the listings leave the market, canceled, expired, unsold, whatever. 65% are closing. So you want to be one of those lucky 65. And so just to give you a little bit of context on what that looks like, in like 2020, 2021, like the peak of our like crazy hot sellers market, where pretty much freaking everything sold, regardless of condition, regardless of price, everything was selling. Our peak was 93% listing success rate. So basically you could count on, if 100 properties hit the market, 93 of those is going to be successful in selling. That's crazy. That's significant. And conversely, back in like 2008, 2009, the housing crisis, where we just were flooded with distressed inventory, demand was low. A lot of people had a lot of bad things going on with their credit, income, unemployment, stuff like that. We were in the recession. The low was 21%. So nearly 80% of the homes were not selling. Only 21% of them were. So to just kind of give a little context, 65%, I mean, just so that you could fit in that parameter, all you got to do is just do a few of the right things and hire the right agent that's going to tell you the right things. And so going back to some of these folks that I've been speaking with that are discouraged, frustrated, disappointed that, hey, my house is on the market for 5 or 6 months. It didn't sell. I'm pissed off. And one common thing I'm hearing is like, you real estate agents, you real estate, you don't know, you guys don't know what you're doing. You real estate agents. Well, I have a feeling, and it seems to be, historically speaking, There is no shortage of real estate agent out there that will tell a consumer what they want to hear so they can get them to sign a contract, to put a sign in the dirt and put a house on the market. And if a seller says, hey, I want to sell my $450,000 house for 5.25, a lot of real estate agents out there will say, okay, and not take the role of a consultative salesperson who's going to give good advice, good feedback. They're afraid of being told no. The salespeople are. They're afraid of losing. Will lose the sale or lose the listing or whatever. So they just, they create this false expectation that, hey, this house might sell for this overinflated price. So I think there was a lot of that, just judging by some of the conversations I'm having. So if you're planning to sell in 2025, you need to be open to having tough conversations and be open to hearing things that maybe isn't exactly what you want to hear, because the person that tells you what you don't want to hear, that has the sort of the stomach to handle that kind of conversation and give you the good advice, that's who you want to be working with. And obviously you want to look at their track record and make sure that they understand the dynamics of the market, where we've been, where we're going. Make sure they understand, mortgage financing, interest rates, why we're at where we're at, why we were 3% for so long, which we should have never been. Make sure that you are hiring an expert. So that's listing success rate. Let's talk about days on market. So average days on market for closed sales right now. So those who were successful, they had their house on the market, they accepted an offer, and they carried that pending contract all the way through closing. 77 days. And what that means, that doesn't include the escrow period during the time that they're waiting to close. That's days on market. So the average seller, or the average property that was on the market, that property had to be on the market for, 2.5 months. 2.5 months before they finally received and accepted the right offer that could cross the finish line. Looks like in the last, so check this out. So I mentioned we have around 21,000 active listings right now in the greater Phoenix metro real estate market. In the last month, actually, let me look at that. Actually, that might have been in the last week. There were 2,633 price reductions. Yeah, that was actually weekly. That was a weekly price reduction figure. So in the last week, greater than 10% of the active listings reduced their price. So that's another thing that we're seeing. A lot of these properties that are on the market 77 days, they're getting to the point where they're accepting an offer by dropping their price sequentially over the course of time, progressively dropping their price until they hit the right number that the market agrees, like that's what that house is worth, and a buyer says, I'm making an offer. So a lot of times the strategy between a listing agent and a seller is like, hey, yeah, let's price it high and see if we can get it. We can always come down. Well, they will come down, and it'll take them a while to get there to where they finally need to be. So that goes back to listing success rate. When you price your property to sell, make sure you price it to sell. Don't price it to sit on the market for 77 days while you are reducing price, on a weekly basis, whatever. So greater than 10% of the active listings on the market in the last week dropped their price by some amount. $1, 10,000, 50,000. I don't know. I don't have those figures. I just know that that's how many price cuts there were. Currently right now, pending and under contract listings, there is about 5,700. So excluding those active listings that are in not an active status, but rather a pending or under contract status, waiting to close. They've accepted an offer. They're waiting to close. There's a total of 5,700. And closed in the last 30 days, 5,300. So 5,318 to be exact. What that boils down to is what we call an absorption rate of 4 months. So if nothing changed in terms of demand, the amount of offers or the amount of properties going under contract and accepting offers, and if no new listings hit the market, like none, and everything remained the same in terms of demand and properties going under contract and actually making their way to the closing table. Because going under contract and going to the closing table, that's just like a whole different set of it's a whole different ball of wax, because all kinds of stuff can come up where, inspection period, property fails an inspection and buyer cancels, or property fails to appraise for the contract price, or buyer loses their job and gets denied for financing, whatever. But anyway, that's an absorption rate of 4 months. So if no new listings hit the market and everything just kept selling the way that it has been, we'd run out of inventory in 4 months. So that absorption rate is actually not bad. It certainly could be better. So anyway, yeah, this is not a bad time to enter the market as a buyer, because you have a lot of inventory to choose from. You have options, and you have motivated sellers that are flexible. Okay. Yeah, interest rates are over 7%. Maybe they drop down into the sixes or the low sixes again. Who knows? If they drop down into the low sixes again, I guarantee you we're going to see a bunch of demand come back. We're going to start seeing properties go under contract really quickly. But there's a case where, just like in October of 2023, where we hit a 24-year high of interest of like 8.05%, it's not impossible for us to get back to that quickly and exceed that. So, if you're waiting for rates to drop, do that, but get ready. Like, get your pre-qualification going. Talk to your real estate agent. Start seeing what homes fit your budget. You might be able to buy something nice right now, interest rate notwithstanding. Beyond that, I mentioned a lot of motivated sellers that are flexible with working with offers. A lot of sellers, I think it's like 8 or 9 out of 10 sellers that are closing they're paying closing cost concessions on behalf of the buyer. So, when you buy a house, you have your down payment, but you also have closing costs on your mortgage. A lot of sellers are picking that up for the buyers so that they can afford to close on the house. Additionally, interest rates, like I said, they're 7.25% today. A seller can make a closing cost concession to a buyer where the buyer can use that to buy down their interest rate. So if interest rates are at 7, you can buy your rate down into the low or at least mid sixes, and that gives you some comfort, some wiggle room down on your payments. So it's better affordability, better qualification, because debt to income ratios and such. So yeah, if you're considering buying a home, I really, really, really believe now is the time to get going. Interest rates may drop back down. They may not. They may go up. But at the very minimum, kind of keep your options open and at least be ready for when interest rates do drop, and be ready for when you see that right property hit the market. Be qualified already. Like, get your pre-qualification done. That way you can get in the game, get your offer submitted, get it accepted, while there's not a bunch of other competition from other buyers. Now, sellers, yeah, we got a lot of inventory. We have a 65% listing success rate. You just want to be one of those 65%. And it's not a bad time to sell your home. The last handful of listings that we listed, we were able to get accepted offers within the first couple of weeks of being on the market. And we did not cheap sell those listings. We just priced it right. We priced it where it should have been, and the sellers had honest and reasonable expectations on what they should expect to see in an offer. And we didn't encounter any issues during the closing or the loan approval and closing process of those contracts. Closed without a hitch. Sellers were very happy. Buyers were very happy. So buying or selling, if you're a consumer in this real estate market, you need to be talking to your real estate agent and your lender like right now. Get ready. We're not even in the spring selling season yet. That kind of kicks off in February, March. I just see the writing on the wall just based on the conversations that I'm having. I got another referral for a buyer who, like, they sound like they're extremely well qualified. They got, they'll have no problem buying a house, and they're getting ready to get into this market and buy sometime, I think, in the next 3 to 6 months. So I really think right now is the time to do it. If you don't have a real estate agent, or if you're one of these 35% of the listings that didn't sell, and you want a fresh look and you want to talk to a good, an agent that's been doing this a while. I've been doing this 18 years. I was a loan officer for 3 years prior to my 18 years in real estate. If you want to talk to somebody that knows what they're talking about, they know what they're doing, they've been there, done that. I've sold nearly 700 homes in the last 18 years. If you want to talk to somebody and just get a fresh perspective on what they see in this market in terms of opportunities for you as a seller, reach out to me. You can message me on the social media, or you can call me 602-295-0890. This was a long video, but hopefully I've provided some value for you. And if you have any questions, or if I neglected to cover any points that you'd like to bring up, shoot me a message or comment on the video. Anyway, thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. Once again, Harvey Keene Properties, LLC, Goodyear, Arizona, 602-295-0890. Thank you.